What up, world? Welcome to another episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. Show. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau, and like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Show. Social media platforms, Instagram, Threads, Brandon Facebook, The BrandonJaneauShow, Show, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Show. I mean, usually just go here. YouTube channel, BrandonJaneauShow Show is where you catch all the visual episodes that I've been dropping this whole year. Can't wait till next year. Got some new episodes, some special edition episodes coming soon, especially like this one tonight. I know it's Monday, so usually I don't do it on Mondays, but tonight it's a very special night, so I can do it here. Welcome to the second annual I Bleed Sports Awards. Last year I did it. It's so fun. It was so much fun last year. So I decided to do it again this year. Why not? Close out the year. Some of my favorite sports teams. Some of my favorite teams. Um. So let's get into it, man. Um. Got all types of different categories. All types of different situations. So let's really get into it. Starting off. Start off with the low. Let's just get it out the way. My disappointment of 2024. My disappointment player of the year in 2024 is Devin the Dream Haney. He is my biggest disappointment of 2024. This shit was bad. Um, Not only did you lose the way you lost, which you got your ass whooped, the way you got your ass whooped, you sued Ryan Garcia. Now, I know there's a suing going on in music that everybody is more pissed off about, and I'm not that mad about that because I get that. That's industry shit. But this is different. You were in the ring with this fucking dude. You had a chance to beat him, and you got your ass whooped. The fuck? This is completely fucking different. And then you cried about it. And then you bitch moaned and complained about it. Your daddy told you to sue this fucking dude, and y'all sued him. Not only did Ryan Garcia already take the penalty for being supposedly on steroids, when it comes out that he really didn't take that much of the steroids and didn't even tell them that he ingested that situation, ingested that shit. The way you lost, the way you got your ass whooped, it was just yeah. I can't with you, bro. Like I can't, man. I can't. You had a chance to win that match, and then the crazy part was how you were talking reckless to this kid, this dude, bro. You was talking crazy to this dude. And not only that, not only did you was talking reckless to this dude came in out of shape, fucking with you the whole fucking press tour, drinking, was doing cocaine. Dude was doing so much shit. And then y'all got in the ring and he beat your ass. Disappointment, motherfucker. And you still ain't got in the ring since then. You cried and got your undefeated record back. Like, bro, what are you? No, man. No, man. No, man. Devin the Dream Haney is my disappointment of this year when it comes to the sports world. That shit is fucking embarrassing. You can't. The only way he recovers if he fights Ryan Garcia again, beats him, and then go fight Tank Davis. That's the only way I would respect you. Other than that, you can go sit your ass down for the rest of your career. I don't want to see another Devin Haney fight the rest of my life. My disappointment team of the year, the team that I'm the most disappointed of in 2024 was easily the San Francisco 49ers. This team sucks. This team is bad. After the Super Bowl, losing the way you lost in overtime to the Kansas City Chiefs, when your players come out right after the Super Bowl and say, "We didn't know the overtime rules for the playoffs. We didn't know the overtime rules. We didn't know how it worked." For you to then lose the game like you lost the game, and then go into the next, come into this season. Yeah, you beat the Chicago Bears yesterday, but Chicago sucks. Chicago's not a fucking good team. You go into last night, beat Chicago, but let's be 100. This whole season, yeah, I know injuries and all this other shit. But there's nothing about this team that you feel comfortable about moving forward. There's nothing about this team that you feel comfortable about. They're one of those teams that's going to have to talk about rebuilding. You have to have a conversation about if you're going to re-sign Brock Purdy or not. He can be a free agent at the end of this year. We don't know. You might sign Brock Purdy. You might have to sign Brock Purdy to a really long extension. You already have signed Nick Bosa. You got Christian McCaffrey, who blew out his Achilles, you know, this past year, like a couple games ago, blew out his knee a couple games ago, who already was dealing with two Achilles injuries before you even got to the start of the season. It's a lot of shit that's going on with the San Francisco 49ers. You re-signed T. Higgins, I mean, not T. Higgins, Lord Jesus, Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuel. They both are now in a massive contracts, and you do not know Brandon Ayuk, who got injured toward his ACL, he's out for the rest of the year. Debo Samuel cannot stay on the field for 17 fucking games out the year. So you don't know really what you have in him. George Kittle is getting up there in age. Your defense is actually worse. It's not getting better. It's gotten worse as the years have passed. Fred Warner is the only piece on that defense that I would even remotely even fucking talk about keeping. I would get rid of everyone, yes, including Nick Bosa. I would get rid of everyone on that defense except Fred Warner and then start from new. I would trade Dre Greenlaw. I would see if I could get something for him, flip him, trade Nick Bosa. You could at least get a first rounder for him. Somebody's gonna pay you crazy to give you enough capital that you would do something to get Nick Bosa. Maybe you could trade him to maybe Baltimore, or I don't know about Baltimore, but you could probably give him to Cincinnati. You can give him to a team that kind of needs that pass rusher. Maybe Detroit in the next. I don't know. Detroit kind of good right now, but you could Kansas City, Kansas City. Like you can give him to Kansas City. Maybe you flip him to a team that kind of needs a defensive piece. Maybe the Giants get desperate enough and flip him. I don't fucking know, but it seems like a team would love to have Nick Bosa. Somebody would. Somebody would take him. You, like I said, do you sign Brock Purdy to an extension? Do you give him extra? Do you give him a 5-year deal with a massive contract, or do you sit there and say cut our losses and fuck it, we just draft a quarterback in the late first round? You drafted a receiver in the first round and then proceeded to sign both your fucking receivers back. Like, what are you doing? Like, you drafted a receiver in the first round when everybody knew you probably needed a little help on that secondary. And you did not even draft a cornerback. By the way, you still had cornerbacks out there. Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry. You had cornerbacks out there. You could have easily took one of them at the end of the first round. Instead, you took a fucking receiver and then proceeded to tell everybody, but we're not going to trade none of our receivers. The fuck was the point? The 49ers is my team of disappointment. I never thought they were going to be good this year to begin with. I saw a lot of bad things coming up this season. I knew they were going to be pretty bad this year. But even this bad is shocking to me. Yeah, even this bad is shocking to me. Well, it's not that shocking. Can they win the division? Anything is possible. I don't think they will, but anything is possible. My overrated player of the year is it's very simple. Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. The man don't even play. I am I've been off of the Zion bandwagon since season two. He's been in New Orleans for like 4 or 5 years. I don't know why you signed him to an extension. His family never wanted him to come to New Orleans. I would have flipped his ass 2, 3 years ago, got something for him because he still had the hype around him. He had the hype around him. I would have flipped him for his hype. I would have just flipped him right then and there, got something for him, maybe trade him to the Lakers, maybe trade him to the Knicks. I could have got something, built something in New Orleans. The fact that the Pelicans are this bad 4 years into the Zion Williamson deal, the Zion Williamson, experience, and he hasn't even played a full 82 games. I don't give a fuck. You can't even play 82 games. Can you play 60 games, nigga? He is done. I'm done. Trade his ass. Get his ass the fuck out of my city. Start from fucking scratch. I'm the Pelicans franchise needs to start from scratch. It's over. CJ McCollum, trade him. Trade Zion Williamson. See if you can get something for Brandon Ingram. Flip him. The only people I would keep in New Orleans is Trey Murphy, Herbert Jones, and and so dude name fuck 15. That's the only three players I would keep. Everybody else is fucking indisposable for me. I would trade all you motherfuckers. Outside of them three, I'm not keeping nobody because at least those three players, when they're healthy and they play on the court, they can do damage. They can fucking play. Outside of that, nobody else is good. There's that you could flip them. You could flip every single person. Zion Williamson is done. Nobody talks about him because of Ben Simmons. How bad Ben Simmons became. Because Ben Simmons has so much hype around him, and he actually lived up to it for a second, and then he just fucking collapsed. This dude never fucking started. He never fucking started. He never fucking started. Like he never even got out the fucking gates to be a good player. He's always been hurt. He's always had some shit going on with him. I would have been traded this motherfucker. I would have traded his ass the second fucking season. Soon as he got injured again, by the off season, I'm looking for a fucking trade partner. Get you the fuck out the city. You cannot do shit to help us. Get the fuck out. And when he's on the court, he can't fucking play outside of being in the paint. I went to a game last year and watched this shit. I'm like, this motherfucker can't make free throws. All he got is just to get into the paint. He can't shoot. He can't do none of this shit. What the fuck is this dude? Watching him play last year was just like, what the fuck is this? The fuck is this? Yeah, Zion is all fucking hype, and even that hype has died. I've seen players now have come into the league and superseded him. And the NBA is not great to begin with, but when Anthony Edwards and Pablo Bencaro and Victor Wembanyama, these are number one picks, by the way. I'm naming that was just like Zion. That was a number one fucking pick. Victor Wembanyama and Pablo Bencaro and Anthony Edwards are better than you, and they already are showing people that they're franchise players, and you can barely play 20 fucking games. Motherfucker, why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Trade this motherfucker and get something for him. And you can't get shit for him now because nobody wants him. Nobody wants this fucking dude. Fucking waste of a pick. Waste of a fucking draft pick. My overrated coach of 2024, Ryan Day of Ohio State. Oh yeah. Oh, we go to college too. Oh, this ain't just one list. Oh no, I go to college too. Oh yeah, it gets done. Ryan Day. I don't know how you guys are gonna play in this college playoffs. I cannot even tell y'all. I don't know. Maybe you guys come out and dominate. Maybe you guys get your ass blown out by Tennessee. I don't fucking know. What I do know is this: you can't beat Michigan to save your soul. This ain't just the first year. This is the second straight year now you've played Michigan without Jim Harbaugh as the head coach, and you've lost to them. This ain't just like you. People forget last year he played Michigan without Jim Harbaugh in the big house and fucking got routed in there too. They actually played more competitive last year than they did this year. This game was fucking terrible. He didn't do shit in that game. He already lost to Oregon. But Ohio State this whole season wasn't really that good. The Big Ten as a conference was kind of on some down shit. They were not good. Outside of Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon, they were really fucking good. Big Ten was fucking trash. Washington had a down year. Michigan had a down year. Michigan State was bad. You had a lot of teams that had just down years this year. Purdue was fucking terrible. I don't know what the fuck happened to Purdue. Maryland was up and down all year. Like the Big Ten had a fucking down year as a conference, and you still couldn't route teams that you needed to route. You beat Penn State, but everybody beats Penn fucking State when they need it. This was bad, man. Ryan Day. I don't know if it's correct. This Tennessee game is going to be very fucking intriguing because he needs to win this game. And if he does not win this game, he may get fired. He may get fired. I don't see too many people crying if he does. I don't see too many people crying if he gets fired. I don't think not one person will get mad at him getting fired. Yeah, you would sit there and say, "Damn, he beats pretty much everybody else he plays. He just can't get over the Michigan hump." Shit happens. You know how many coaches in Michigan could beat everybody they played until they got to Ohio State and couldn't fucking beat Ohio State? People forget Jim Harbaugh was the same. Jim Harbaugh couldn't beat Ohio State for the first what year and a half, 2 years that he was the head coach. He couldn't beat them motherfuckers for nothing, and then he started winning, and you were like, "Oh, wait a minute." So yeah, listen, man. But yeah, Ryan Day is overrated. Like it's bad enough. We could stop this. All right, all right. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I'll start off with the negative. Let's get to the positive. Let's get to the positive, and that is this: Fighter of the Year. Now, there's a lot of great candidates. Tank Davis re-entered into the ring this past year. Tank Davis. You had Terrence Crawford move up to the middleweight division. Canelo Alvarez had a couple fights this year. David Benavidez had moved up to the light heavyweight division. Um, you had a lot of great situations going on for boxing. Hopefully they get back to the fights, mega fights, but they close it out with one big fight, and that is Usyk versus Fury, and that is where I start, and that is where the fighter of the year is, and that is Usyk, who is the undisputed heavyweight champion. I don't know if he's undisputed because Daniel Dubois has a belt, so I don't know if he's undisputed. I think he's more unified heavyweight champion, but either way it goes, he is the heavyweight champion. He holds most of the belts in the heavyweight division after beating Fury, and he beat the shit out of Fury. That match was fucking crazy to watch. Beat the hell out of Fury. I'm looking forward to this rematch. I think Fury's gonna come out and fight a little bit more aggressive. Fury had him in the first couple of that first 4 or 5 rounds of that fight. He had him. He had him dead to rights, and then he just let him off the hook. I don't want to say let him off the hook. That's a little crazy because nobody lets somebody off the hook in boxing. Usyk beat that ass in about the 6, 7, 8 round. He started tagging Fury, and Fury's chin started feeling them motherfucking punches. And then he went down. Oh my god, that ninth round when that motherfucker started pinballing. And that nigga like the old computer screen. Doop, 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 doop. And all them signs and shit. And then nigga like the old computer screen. Y'all remember the old computer screen and shit? And the Microsoft shit used to hit one side and it used to bounce and then go up to the back and a bomb and it just used to bounce everywhere. You just like, what the fuck? He got his ass whooped. Oh, that shit was crazy. Usyk is a great fighter, man. He's a really great fighter. I can see him running the heavyweight division for a good bit. I can actually see it. I can actually see him running the heavyweight division for a good bit of time. I don't think too many people could get in that ring with that man and fight. I cannot wait to see him and Daniel Dubois one more time. That will be very legendary. People forget that him and Daniel Dubois did fight in the Ukraine before the war and everything happened. They were boxing in the rain, which was like the stadium was open and it was raining in the fucking fight. So Daniel Dubois, who by the way knocked down Usyk in that fight, and they called it off. I don't know what the fuck they called that off for. They talk about something he hit him below the belt, some shit. I'm like, that's not getting him on a belt line. And he was like, no, it was all below the belt. Man, whatever, fuck that shit. I cannot wait to see if they're gonna fight again, and I think they should, and I think it will be one of the best fights, especially if Usyk gets out of this match against Fury unscathed. I think you need to have this fight. We can stop with this Daniel Anthony. Can we stop with this Anthony Joshua shit? Because he's not the guy, and he never will be. Can we stop this? Okay, but yes, Usyk is my boxer of the year. Well, my fighter of the year, I should say. Oh, shout out to John Bone Jones for returning to the octagon. He almost was there too. Almost was about to give him that. And yes, so it was a lot of fighters I was considering, but Usyk got this over a lot of them because that fight, that win was very decisive, very fucking decisive. My baseball player of the year is Paul Skeets. Skeets, pitcher of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul had an amazing rookie season as a pitcher. Got voted into the All Star game. What was it, like the first one of the first rookie pitchers to get voted into the All Star game? Started in the All Star game. Did an amazing job. If the Pittsburgh Pirates didn't suck so bad, he would be one of the best pitchers. He is one of the best pitchers. Won the Rookie of the Year. Was one. He was behind Chris Sale for the NL Cy Young. I mean, this man just went out there and did his thing, man. Go from LSU, winning a national championship with LSU, to now becoming one of the best pitchers in the NL. Hey, man, and the NL stacked with good pitchers. I mean, look at the Dodgers. Look at what the Braves have. They got some good pitchers in the NL, man. The Phillies got some good pitchers. Like, so for him to come into this situation and just stand out like he stood out is freaking amazing. So yeah, man, Paul Skeets of the Pittsburgh Pirates is my baseball player of the year. Now again, I know people are gonna sit there and say, "What about Shohei? What about Aaron Judge? What about for what he had to go through from pretty much get called up very early because a lot of people forget he got called up very early. He didn't get called up like late into the season. He got called up very fucking early. Like he got called up like maybe mid-April, early May, and was starting in the goddamn All-Star game at the beginning of July. Like dude was special from the moment he stepped on a pitcher's mound this year. Yeah, he's my baseball player of the year. He's my baseball player of the year. Shout out to Mookie Betts. Shout out there and Judge. Shout out all them people. But he's my baseball player of the year. My basketball player of the year is Anthony Edwards. Ant. Ant Man. The man is my basketball player of the year. I get it. I hear everybody already. What about LeBron? What about New? What about the Joker? What about Jason Tatum? What about Anthony Edwards? Because look at what the Anthony Edwards had to go through Minnesota. This man became a superstar immediately. Like I said, was the first overall pick a couple years ago. Didn't know if he could turn into what he became, and he has become one of the best players in the league. Like I have said, if the league had a lot of young players like Anthony Edwards, they probably wouldn't be so fucking bad because he actually does not take shit. He does not let himself fall victim to what the fuck the situation is. The man is one of the best players. Now, talking shit to Kyrie Irving before the Western Conference Finals might have not been the best decision in his career. Damn sure talking back down on the 90s basketball players might not have been the best decision of his career. But the man can ball, man. Look at Minnesota this year. They are one of the best teams in the Western Conference because of this man. This man is one of the best players in the fucking league. And anybody sitting there trying to tell me he's not, you're delusional. My football player of the year. My football player of the year is the MVP of the motherfucking league, and that's Lamar motherfucking Jackson. Put some fucking respect on that man's name. Lamar Jackson is having a better year than he did last year, which is fucking nuts. Which is fucking nuts. The man's stats this year is fucking crazy. I cannot believe how good this man's season is. His season is amazing. Um, but Lamar Jackson is the anchor of the Baltimore Ravens. He is. I love the fact they got Derrick Henry. The one thing about Baltimore that I have a knock on, and I said this about this team every week on I Bleed Sports, is that when they get into certain situations, they lose their identity of what the fuck they need to do, which is run Derrick Henry. You brought him in to run him, and then you choose not to use him. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Lamar Jackson is the best fucking player in the NFL, man. I get it this year, everybody's obsessed with Josh Allen. But Lamar Jackson has been that dude. This man for what 6, 7, 8 weeks? What for? What is it? Week 14, week 15? I think we're going into now. This man had 30 fucking touchdowns and 3 interceptions. over 300,000, over 3,000 yards passing with a completion percentage of like over 70. And you and now motherfuckers gonna call him out for his fucking for the fucking record? Bitch, you stupid? Come on now, stop that. Lamar Jackson is the best fucking player in the NFL. Fuck what you talk about. My coach of the year. No, no, no. My underrated coach of the year is Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions. I love Detroit. If you listen to me do I Bleed Sports any other time, you know I love Detroit. Detroit is my favorite team in the NFL. I have been on this bandwagon for like 2 fucking years. When those motherfuckers had the second pick in the draft and they drafted Aiden Hutchinson, I said this motherfucking team is gonna be dangerous as a motherfucker. The next draft they had, and they drafted Jameer Gibbs and Jack Campbell and Brian Branch and Hayden Hooker, and now look at Detroit. Now look at Detroit. I have said for years they had the best offensive line. Me and my brother Juan both stated that Detroit probably has the best offensive line in the NFL. Now people are like, man, Detroit has a really good offensive line. No shit. No shit. This team is fucking good. This team is fucking good. It's probably the best team in the NFL. And it goes back to the year where they almost fired Dan Campbell. They started off very bad. They had, like I said, they got the second overall pick in the draft in 2021, I want to say. Drafted Aiden Hutchinson. And ever since then, they've been on. But I remember a lot of people was like, Dan Campbell should get fired. Now look at you. Now look at you motherfuckers. Now you motherfuckers saying, I wish we had Dan Campbell as a head coach. Dan Campbell is one of the best head coaches in the NFL, and anybody that tells you he's not, you're fucking delusional. I remember I did a ranking of my coaches are coming into the season. I think I had Dan Campbell maybe like three, four, because the man is just one of the best head coaches in the league. Anybody that doesn't believe that, look at the team, man. Look, them dudes will run through a wall. If I could play football, if I could play football, there's two coaches I would play for: Dan Campbell and Mike Tomlin. Yeah, Andy Reid's great and all that other shit, but those are the two coaches I would play for. Why? Because their motivation skills is fucking amazing. You will run through a wall for them dudes. That's a difference. That's the damn difference. My underrated player of the year. I had overrated, now I got underrated. Underrated player of the year is Saquon Barkley. People keep saying, "Oh man, if Saquon was with New York, he wouldn't be doing this shit." And I have to ask you, motherfuckers, how the fuck you know? How the fuck do you know? I'm not saying he will have the year that he's having. Oh fuck no. But to sit there and say he wouldn't have a good fucking year, I'm watching Alvin Kamara every fucking Sunday in New Orleans with the Saints. Them motherfuckers suck. That motherfucker that was lying is fucking terrible. And Saquon Barkley was in New York. He would be doing what Alvin Kamara is doing exactly what the fuck he's supposed to do: be a leading receiver in the leading running back. So don't sit there and tell me he wouldn't have done nothing. You are lying to yourself. Lying to yourself. Saquon would have definitely had a great year in New York. Because he's too fucking great to not have a great fucking year. Like, people don't understand that shit, bro. Y'all motherfuckers are delusional. That motherfucker's too great to not have a great year. He would have found a way to have a great fucking year. Don't get it twisted now. But since he isn't in New York, look what he's doing in Philly. Yeah, look at what he's doing in Philly. That man is killing in Philly. Oh my god, I've never seen a team immediately turn great so fucking fast. Yo, they run the ball with Saquon so much they got AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts beefing again. Like, this shit is crazy. This shit is nuts. Saquon is their offense. He's their offense. And anybody that sits there and tells me that he's not, you're delusional. You're delusional. My coach of the year. Now I'm gonna do a coach of the year. My coach of the year is Tom Thibodeau of the New York Knicks. Listen, man, for where Tom Thibodeau went at the beginning of his career, people don't give that man his proper credit for what the Bulls was under him, man. Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Carlos Boozer, Taj Gibson, Kurt Heinrich, Ben Gordon, Luol Deng. Like, bruh, that man created a fucking monster. Brad Miller, Chicago Bulls back in the day with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler came in and did his thing under Tom Thibodeau, and then he goes to Minnesota. Before there was an Anthony Edwards, he got them to the fucking playoffs with Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns. Them niggas didn't even like each other, and he got them to the playoffs. Like, come on, bro. Can we get this man his proper respect, bro? Get this man his proper fucking respect, bro. And now look what he's done with the Knicks. The Knicks are one of the best teams in the NBA. Who the fuck would have said that shit 3, 4 years ago? Who the fuck would have said that shit? He plays them dudes like they're supposed to be played, man. Play hard, play aggressive, and do not stop until the fucking whistle, until the fucking buzzer blow. That's how it's supposed to go, man. I would have loved to see the Knicks in the NBA Finals last year. I would have loved to see how it would look. Them versus Dallas and them versus Minnesota would have been dope as a motherfucker. The Garden alive for the fucking NBA Finals. Now, here's the thing. I hope they get to the NBA Finals this year. I am rooting for the fucking Knicks this year. I am a Knicks fan. I've always been a Knicks fan since I was a kid. I've always been a Knicks fan. I always used to watch the NBA on NBC. And every Sunday, I just remember the song come on, and every fucking afternoon, it would be the Indiana Pacers versus New York Knicks in a noon slot, and then and at 3 o'clock here in the South, at 3 o'clock it'd be the Lakers versus the Lakers. It'll be the Knicks and the Pacers, or Knicks and Bulls, and you know what I'm saying, or Knicks and Philly, at 11 and 12, and then Sunday, and then later on the day it'll be the Lakers versus the Rockets, or the Lakers versus the Jazz, or it'll always be the Lakers and the Knicks. So I'm used to it. Now that it's going back on NBA, it's gonna be on NBC again this upcoming year, next year. I'm looking forward to that shit. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm looking kind of forward to seeing the NBA on NBC. That'd be pretty dope. I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. But what he's created, man, what he's done with the Knicks the last year, and then of course this year, to get them in the playoffs and get them that far into the playoffs, man. If they get to the NBA, if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, build a statue for this man outside the MSG. Just build a statue for him outside of Madison Square Garden. Just build it. They will come. Build a statue because he did something that nobody could have done that we haven't seen since Jeff Van Gundy, bro. Like, build that man a fucking statue. Build that man a fucking statue, bro. Since Latrell Sprewell and Allen Houston and old man Patrick Ewing. And grandmama, Larry Johnson, bro. Like, build that man a fucking statue, bro. Stop playing. Stop bullshitting. Build that man a fucking statue and stop bullshitting. My leader of the year is Andy Reid. Andy Reid is my leader of the year. Now, for what the Kansas City Chiefs are this season, I can't believe Andy Reid got this team this far. I'm gonna be dead ass honest with y'all. I can't believe this shit. But what he did also last year, getting them to the Super Bowl with that team last year, like I said on I Believe Sports a couple weeks ago, it's damn near impossible to see this team that they have right now and with the Kansas City Chiefs. To watch the Kansas City Chiefs last year and they won a Super Bowl with that team. And now look at their team this year. They are finding ways to win games. You can say it's Patrick Mahomes. You can say this. But Andy Reid is probably the greatest head coach in the NFL. I know he doesn't have the reins so far like Bill Belichick, but let's push it into perspective. This man has now won 9 consecutive AFC division titles. You know how hard that shit is? Ask Bill Belichick about that shit. 9 consecutive AFC division titles. He possibly will be the number one pick. He will probably have the number one seed in the playoffs again this year. Everything will have to go through Kansas City. Good fucking luck. But it's even before then. People forget, like, bro, this man has been doing this shit, building great teams for years. Look at what he did with Philly. Yo, people forget how great the Eagles were under Andy Reid. Donovan McNabb, like, bro, Brian Westbrook, even Deuce Staley, like, bro, they had great Brian Dawkins, Jeremy Trotter, like, bro, this fucking, yo, he's been coaching great fucking players for years. This man had Michael Vick out of prison. Michael Vick out of prison, bro, and made this man into a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. Get the fuck out of here, bro. We're not doing this shit. We're not doing this shit. This man got to 7 NFC Championship games. The man is great, bro. This man is fucking. What he got to like what 6 NFC Championship games or shit like that with the Eagles, and then come to Kansas City and he's doing the same shit, bro. It's different. It's levels to this shit. It's what the kids say. It's levels to this shit. It's levels to this shit. Andy Reid is one of the greatest leaders and one of the greatest coaches of all time. This season is just a fucking reprimandum of that. There is no way in hell the Kansas City Chiefs should be 10-1 or 11 and some fucking crazy record they have right now. There is no, they should have way more fucking losses than they have wins, and yet they have wins. I don't know how. I have no idea how, but they have them. My superstar of the year, and that's Shohei Ohtani. Shohei, I know, should be the baseball player of the year. No, he's the superstar of the year because no matter where he was, people were gonna follow him. More than Lamar, more than Patrick Mahomes, more than Jason Tatum, LeBron James, Shohei Ohtani is the superstar of the year. The man has now won a champion. He goes to Los Angeles Dodgers and win a fucking World Series championship the first year he's there. Give that man his respect and love. Give it to him, man. He deserves it. He deserves it, man. One of the best baseball players. And next year, well, he did injure his arm again. I don't know if next year he should be able to play to be a pitcher. I don't know if he will because a lot of reports are saying that the Dodgers are trying to bring him in off of bring him out of the bullpen. If he could pitch for you, use him as a fucking pitcher and shut the fuck up and do it. What are we doing? No, don't do that. Shohei Ohtani is the superstar of the year. Speaking of the Dodgers, they're the franchise of the year. Yeah, I said that. The franchise of the year. The Dodgers have finally captured a World Series, and it wasn't in the pandemic. The Dodgers captured a World Series, and it wasn't in the pandemic. Holy shit. Holy shit. The reason why the Dodgers are the franchise of the year because they've always had the team. They've always had the team. They just couldn't fucking win when it came to the postseason. They just never had postseason success. Mookie Betts is still one of the best players. Freddie Freeman is the ageless wonder, one of the greats of all time. I've always been a Braves fan, so Freddie Freeman's always been one of my favorite players. Shohei Ohtani is one of my favorite players right now. They've always had the talent, they just couldn't pull it the fucking together. Thank God they played the Yankees this year. Because if they played any other team in the AL, they probably would have lost. I'm not even gonna fucking. I'm not joking. I'm dead ass serious. You lucky you played the Yankees. Because if you play the Tigers, the Guardians, you would never got up for them. You would have never got up for them. You would have never cared. You would have been, oh, we just better than them. And you would have been down 2-0, and you've been looking like, what the fuck happened? Because you didn't treat them like they were competition. And they bust your ass. They always do that shit. They go into the postseason and they treat teams like they're not competition. Like, oh, we better than them. And then they get their ass beat. And then you just sitting there like, what the fuck happened? Stop treating motherfuckers like they not no damn competition. But they won this game. The Dodgers finally won the World Series. I'm very proud of them. I don't know if you're gonna repeat. That's damn near impossible. Even in baseball, it's damn near impossible. You had the most cap. Juan Soto going to the Mets last night for 15 years, and oh my god, 15 years. What was it? 500 million, something over close to damn 600 million fucking dollars. Like, how old is Juan Soto? Juan Soto's like 24, 25, 26. He's not seeing that contract go out the whole year. That shit is not happening. 15 years, bro? Like, nah, bro. Like, I can see him doing it for maybe 10. They're going to find a way to get that contract from being fully under him. Like, they're going to have to find a way. Because there's no way in hell you're going to sit there and tell me that the Mets can just pay him all that money and there's going to be no ramifications of this shit. Juan Soto, great. But the Dodgers are my franchise of the year. I don't know if the Dodgers are going to, like I said, keep. I don't know if the Dodgers can repeat. I don't know. I don't know if the Mets are going to be the team that catches them. I'm not going to sit up here and act like the Mets are going to catch them now. As much as I love Francisco Lindor and I love, Juan Soto, I don't know if the Mets can repeat. I don't know if the Mets are going to catch them. I don't know. I think they're good, but the Mets this past year. But here's the thing that people don't understand: the Mets the Mets last year when it got to the NLCS against the Dodgers. The reason why the Mets got there wasn't because of the star players. They got there because of the way that the Mets were built. They had a lot of players show up at the end of the season, and now you're asking them to for Juan Soto. We shall see. But I got the Dodgers as my franchise of the year. My player of the year, and that is Aja Wilson. I know she didn't win the championship this year, but her season was fucking unfucking real. The way she played basketball this past season for the WNBA, I couldn't let it go unnoticed. I know I don't talk about, didn't put any of the WNBA on here or any women's sports like that on here, but I would easily tell you that Aja Wilson this past season was the best women's player on the basketball court. If you did not see her play this whole fucking season, I don't know what to tell you. Even when they were bad, and the Aces were bad early in the season, they were not good. She was still putting up double figures. Man, she was having like 20, 30 points, 10, 15 rebounds a game. Like, it was nothing to her. Like, bro, like, if the Aces could have turned it around a little sooner, I think they would have been the number one seed. I think they would have dominated. I think they would have avoided the Liberty in the second round. I think they would have gotten to the WNBA finals again and maybe challenged the Liberty again and beaten them. But the fact that they ended up being in the position where they were in because they started off so slow, they probably would have beat the Liberty if they got to the WNBA finals. I think Liberty were good this year. I just think the Aces always have their number, especially when it's an even playing field. I think they always have their number. So, but Aja Wilson was the best women's player in the league this year. Anybody that tells you that she wasn't, you're delusional. You're fucking delusional. Team of the year, it's Kansas City Chiefs. Winning a Super Bowl earlier this year in February, the way you won the Super Bowl with that team, no way in hell that shit should have happened. No way in hell that shit should have happened. But it did. Andy Reid, like I said, is my coach of the year. Kansas City's a great team. But that team last year should have never won. Should have never won. It should never even got to the fucking Super Bowl. But it did. And it won. And I gotta give Kansas City their flowers for that, man. I know. I could have gave it to Boston, who walked through the Eastern Conference, pretty much walked through the entire Eastern Conference, and they got to the Western Conference, got to the NBA Finals, just absolutely destroyed the Dallas Mavericks. I get that. I could have given it to the Dodgers, who walked through the Yankees. I could have given it to a lot of teams. I could have given it to the New York Liberty that won. beating the Minnesota Lynx, which was in a 5-game series. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Could have given it to the Michigan Wolverines, who dominated pretty much throughout the entire year, went undefeated, and then won the national championship last year. I could have given it to a lot of teams, but the fact that Kansas City of all teams, went from looking like they looked the whole fucking year to win a Super Bowl. Gotta give them the credit, man. Gotta give them the credit. I gotta give them their credit. And then my athlete of the year is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. To have the season he had last year, to get them to the number one seed last year in the NBA in the NFL season, starting this year off where he was the number one seed in the AFC. Yeah, they didn't win a championship. They didn't get to the Super Bowl. Okay. But then to have the season that he had to start off this year, and still has a pretty good fucking season. I mean, people don't. I know they're losing right now, so everybody's just off the bandwagon. Now we talking about records, but look at the man's stats. It's still fucking phenomenal. Like, what are we talking about? Lamar Jackson is still one of the best players in the fucking league. I've already told y'all he's my football player of the year, and he's my athlete of the year. He's actually having a better year than he did last year, and he won a fucking MVP. He's having a better year this year, and he won the fucking MVP last year in the NFL. Yo, it's different. Like, there's different levels to this shit. It really is. And Lamar Jackson is the athlete of the year. Anybody that tells me that he's not, you're crazy. You're crazy, and I gotta check you. I gotta check you. I gotta check your mental state because it's getting up there or getting down there. I should say. But that is it. That is the I Bleed Sports Awards. I will be back before the end of this year. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I'm gonna do I Bleed Sports. I kind of was waiting to do this award show, and then college football has officially announced their situation. Which you know what, fuck it, why not? Let's talk about it. So college football is officially um have announced the college playoffs and who's gonna play who, rankings and everything. And everybody has been in a hissy fit over Alabama. Alabama is not going to be in the college playoffs. Thank the Lord. My thing is this. I saw it on TikTok. ESPN came up on my thing, and I said if Alabama was in any other conference, we wouldn't even talk about Alabama. If they had 3 losses in any other conference that wasn't the SEC, you wouldn't even give these motherfuckers the time of fucking day. Let's be 100. You have too many teams get saved because they're in the conference that they're in. If you put Penn State in the Mountain West and they lost a game and it wasn't to Boise State, you wouldn't sit up there and tell me Penn State should be in the fucking college playoffs. It's fucking you're lying now. If you put Clemson, no, Clemson's in a terrible conference to begin with. But if you put Alabama in the ACC and they lost to Georgia Tech, Syracuse, and let's say SMU, you wouldn't even talk about these motherfuckers. What are we doing? Alabama should have never been in the conversation. The fuck are we talking about? They have 3 losses. Two of them, what? Two of three, all 3 losses. This is the thing. All 3 losses came on the road. All 3 losses came to the SEC. The SEC is a tough conference. Let's get all that bullshit out the way. Alabama should have never been in the college playoff conversation. The only reason why y'all keep giving these motherfuckers the I saw yesterday, they resume. They try to make it seem like LSU's a good team. Bitches, you stupid? Is you stupid? LSU is fucking terrible. I call LSU games every fucking Saturday after this. I'll be back next year if I bleed purple and gold next year. But anybody that watched LSU this whole year will tell you they're one dimensional on offense and they can't stop a running quarterback to save their fucking lives. And by the way, when they played Alabama, they had lost to Texas A&M. The 2 weeks prior to that. They came off of a bye and got their ass whooped like that. I don't want to hear that shit. You try to throw LSU on their resume like that was a good fucking win. It's a terrible fucking win. That shit was not good. You try to give them Missouri? When the last time you saw Missouri be good? These motherfuckers got 3 losses too. What the fuck are we talking about? Syracuse got like 3 or 4 losses. What the fuck we? Yo, I mean South Carolina got 3 to 4 losses. Like what the fuck are we doing? They were trying to just throw these motherfuckers into the only good win Alabama had all season was Georgia, and Georgia's not fucking good. What are we doing? What are we doing? They should have never made the college playoffs. I'm happy about this situation. I'm very happy because at least we're gonna get some new blood. Now everybody is scared, and this is what the one thing that people are so afraid of, that we're gonna have one of those games like Georgia versus TCU. That's what people are so afraid of. That's why you want the big brands. The problem with that is that you don't put into perspective that TCU had lost Kendrick Miller. They had lost like another receiver. They had a lot of injuries going into that game against Georgia that game. Not saying they were going to be on the field. And Georgia also, most of the fucking players that played in that game for Georgia are in the NFL right now. You played against NFL caliber players, my nigga. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, N'Kobe Dean, Quinn Walker, Quinyon Walker. Like, bro, these motherfuckers were playing against motherfuckers that was in the league right now. Trayvon Walker went number fucking one, who should never probably win number one, and I don't know why the fuck they. Ringo was in, bro. People don't get that shit the proper conversation, which is Georgia offense didn't have to do shit. That defense was stacked, stacked. The fuck are y'all talking about? Most of those players on that defense that night is in the league. The fuck are we talking about? Put it in proper context. People don't want to ever have these conversations, but you want to sit there and tell me it could happen again. Shut your ass up. None of these teams have that type of players. None of those teams got Jalen Carter. None of them teams got Jordan Davis. None of them had them. None of them. I can't wait for this. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to. Uh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do about it, but I'm going to eventually have uh, a conversation about it. I know me and my brother want to go talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, man, that shit is wild to me. Wild to me. Alabama should never made the playoffs. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You can't sit up there and give me this bullshit about how Alabama's good or the better team when they got their ass blown out by Oklahoma. No, they're not. All right. Like I said, I know it's not Tuesday. It's Monday, but I will be back tomorrow, and I will be doing a couple more reviews. I will be doing Wrestling Life, my life at times with music, and I think I'm gonna do a point of view and random shit to close out the year. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna do it. But yeah, man. And next week I'll be back doing Bleed Black and Gold. That comes out tonight. The episode comes out tonight. But until next time, man, I am Brandon Janeau. Peace.